She doing all my drugs, young ballin' in the club like Lil Mama and my eyes shine. She gon'
So in this video, we are going to make our GUI application for our mailing system. I have already created a video that how we can send our mail with the help of CMD by using Python. So now we are going to make a GUI for that, because whenever client will demand an application, you have to give a GUI. You cannot give him a code actually. So for that we are going to create our Flask application for our mail system. So inside this Gmail project, I have a folder named as templates. Inside the templates, we have two HTML files, and it is a basic structure of our Flask application that our HTML files should be stored in our template folders. So inside this index.html, if I show you, let me on my so it is our uh, login page actually. So for a background picture, we should create our folder name as static, not here. So here we should contain a folder known as static. In this static folder, we have to paste our images like background images and our CSS files. For that, I have already created this file, so I am going to copy it simple. So you can see I have a style, it is a CSS file and it is our background image. And now if I show you my HTML page, it will be something. Yes, now it is our login page. And after this, after the authentication of our Gmail account, so we have to enter in our content uh, content HTML, which is our sendmail.html. So inside this, now you can see it is our from subject message. So we have to create our .python file to connect with this our HTML pages. So now we are going to create it. So we have to simple create a Python file over here. Should be a Python file main.py. Now main.py is, it should be outside, so I'm pasting it. It should be outside. Now see main.py. Now we are going to create our application with the help of Flask. So for that we have to import some libraries from Flask. Import Flask. Now second function will be our render template, render underscore template. Third one will be our request, and it will be our redirect. Not now. Let's do it. So now let's start our application, and our application name is app. It should be our name. Now it is our app. That at last we have to write to run our application if not underscore name equal to, and it is a basic structure of our Flask application. It should be run at last app.run debug equal to true. Debug equal to true means whenever I am going to make some changes in my code, so it will automatically run it. It will automatically restart the server. So now let's make our first route. root symbol, our home page. Now it should be our simple slash. Here our method should be get. Now we have to write our function. I am creating my function name as homepage. Now it should return our uh, render template. Render template simply means we are going to return our HTML file over here in my home page. So index.html. So if I'm going to run it, we have to create our. After that, we are creating our second page. So it should be our app dot root. It should be our sending. Now here our method will be our post, because we are posting our password and username. For that we have to define a function name as sending. Now we are saying that if our request dot method equal to post, so what you should do, you should create our username. You should take our username from our HTML page request dot form. It should be our email, because in our index.html file we have our email with the name of email. So we have to take this value to take the input from our HTML page to our Python. So now we have to similarly we have to take our password also. Request dot form. Now it is also our password. So now we have to import our SMTP library. If you don't know about SMTP library, please check this video. I have already given an introduction in that video. So now let's go back and now initialize our class. We are going to smtplib dot smtp. Inside this we have to give our smtp dot gmail.com. And inside this we have a port number 587, as we already know. So now we have to give our function simple mail dot start tls. Now we are saying if our mail dot login, our username and password is equal to, now see, I'm going to show you something. CMD, okay, not now. I will show you this in last at why I'm creating this. Five slash 2.7.0. It should be our accept. I will show you some at last that why I have created this, from where I got this value. So it simply means if our login authentication is successful, so simple redirect okay redirect So we have to import this redirect. We have to import this URL underscore 4. So redirect to another function. We will create this function. Else, if our login or authentication is got failed, so at that time we will say show a message. Message cannot login. Now we have to return our render template simple index.html. Now we have to create this our redirect function. Suppose we have one more root over here, app.root slash mail, and we are giving our methods equal to get. Now we have to create a simple function also. Suppose we are creating our mailing, so we have taking our username. Oh, not user, simple render template sending.html. Now I think we can use it. Now let's see our application is working or not. Now see, our application is successfully working. Of that, suppose we are going. Now our password is totally correct. Similarly, origin not served by server. Now see, our problem was there that we have to add a parenthesis and we have to create our sendmail.html. It should be our sendmail.html. Now we have to save it again. Okay, now I have to make one more function over here, one more root file, so that we can go to our content to take our content from this HTML page. So for that we have to write app.root. Suppose I'm taking it, giving it as a content. It should, our method should be post. Now we have to create a function known as content. Suppose I'm creating a content sending. Now suppose we are going to take our data from this HTML page. Now in this HTML page, what we have our from, subject, message, and our button, submit button. So for this I have to, for if request dot method equal to post. So let's say to request dot form to was our subject, request dot form. We have to take our subject also. For that subject we have to take our message box. Message box is nothing but our body. Request dot form message. Now finally, after taking all the contents, we have to take our, we have to set our email. Now we have to import this library also. So I think it was from email dot message import email message. Yes, so it should be our message. After taking all the values over here, we have to set our message box. For that, suppose our message subject, it will be equal to our subject, this variable, because it is a content of our subject from our HTML page. Now we have to create our subject from also. So it should be our username. Okay, we have to take our username also. Username underscore from, suppose it is our, so okay, now see, our username and password, it should be same in our all the functions, because we have to send our email and our username and password again and again. So for that, suppose I am writing over here sending dot, same as our function name, because we have to use this variable outside this function. So for that, sending dot password. Oh, okay. So for that, we have to pass in this function also for this function. If we want this value in our this function, so we have to pass our this variables from our this function also. Suppose I am writing over here mailing dot username, it should be our equal to sending dot username, and mailing dot password, it should be our sending dot password. So now we can use this variable to get the value of our username and password in here. Suppose, okay, now we have to set our message to also, it should be equal to our to. Now we have finally set our content, set underscore content, it should be our message box. Now where is message box? Now we have to set our username from also, I missed that, so it should be our mailing dot username, because see in our this HTML file, in our this HTML file we have our from in simply means we have to send our own username. So now let's back to our code. Set, after setting the content, we have to write, we have to initialize our mail class also. Now again, okay, I'm going to copy it again. We have to log in again actually. Suppose I'm going to paste over here. Now finally we have to log in. So we have to log in again with the same password, mailing dot username, mailing our dot password also. And this, both the values are same as we get in our first login page. And finally, after login, we have to send our message. Set mail dot send underscore mail, not mail, should be a message. Now we have to set our this content. This is our finally message. Now finally we have to return our render template, or we can say return successfully. No, I'm going to see render this same page. You can also write return successfully sent or something else. For now I am doing this. Now we have a else block, so we have should contain our else. So if after if block, we should contain our else block also. Return, it will say, if it is fail, it will simply say something went wrong. I think our code is fully completed. Now let's try it. Now it is our from, our password. Okay, username is not defined. Okay, we have to change this also because this is our variable, so we have to copy it. Again we have to pass it over here, and we have to send our password. Okay, now we have to run it again. Okay, now see, now we have to pass this value also. Why it is not showing from? Let me see why it is not showing from. Okay, okay, in that function, in this function we have to pass our, now see, in our from we have a value with our variable, so we have to insert our username in this variable in our HTML page. So for that we have to pass our we have to take our variable name from value, it is not our, it should be equal to mailing dot username, our own username from. Now it should show us. Now okay, my internet connection. Now let's see if it is working or not. Now see, it is our, it is showing our own username in our from. So now we time is to send some mail over here. Hi, checking the mail system. Hello students. Now okay, we have to log in our Gmail also to check that our mail is successfully sent or not. Now see, we have to just okay, now there is also some problem. Message from username. Okay, okay, it should not be a mailing username, so it should be username from. Okay, my bad. Now our code is ready. Let's see it is working or not. Now refresh it. Okay, now it's working. Let's log in again. Okay, wait, should be per email. Now see, now it is working fine. Let's send our Gmail. Now you can see I have no mail. We can send any, we can send to any email ID actually. I shouldn't. Okay, let's write. Please subscribe the channel. Now you can see over here. I got a mail over here. Please subscribe the channel. So it is all about this video. I will provide the code in the description. Please subscribe the channel. Thank you so much. Bye.